Welcome to the American Nightmare Podcast, episode 34, recorded on January 28th, 2021.
Ooh.
All right. Let's start off with some horror news. So, next season of Stranger Things may be the scariest yet. An interview in Us magazine by Glenn
In the
Gayton.
final season too?
Yeah,
Is it
I believe
final?
it's going to be the final season. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
I'm
thought I heard
hoping it
that.
is, because if
Yeah.
it's not, they're going to have to name the fifth season "Beating a Dead Horse."
Yeah, well,
Um,
kids are getting older too. I mean, I know
yeah.
they can squeeze that all in, but
So there was an interview by Gayton Matrizzano, who plays Dustin in Us Weekly, and he said during the filming he believes that this is the scariest season yet, and it was the most fun to film.
Nice. That's good. That's good to hear.
Yeah, so I'm excited, and he also gave away the goat that Hopper comes back, which I guess we kind of knew that. I
Yeah, I think everyone
someone
knew that
leaked it
anyway, right?
previously. Yeah. So
I just assumed he was always going to be, because I was like, you can't get rid of Hopper.
Yeah.
James Wan, we talked about this before. He was working on a new horror movie called *Malignant* that has been pushed back to be released this September. It is going to thankfully be released in theaters and on HBO Max simultaneously.
Love it.
The release date is September 10th, and it just wrapped up last week. According to an interview, he says, this was supposed to be his little horror thriller in between some of the big ones that he's working on, but the pandemic pushed this one back pretty far. So it's sad that it didn't come out last year, but at least we're going to get it this September, pretty close to Halloween, which will be nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be nice. Yeah.
Conjuring 3 is also one of those that's hitting theaters and HBO Max too.
Yeah, that's nice too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Godzilla vs. Kong. The release was bumped back just a few days to March 31st, but it's going to be on HBO Max and theaters at the same time. And the trailer looks amazing.
It does. It really does.
A lot of people have been analyzing the trailer, and it turns out it looks like Mecha Godzilla may actually be in this one.
Really?
Yes.
Geez, they must have been analyzing good, because I didn't.
The videos I watched, I don't know, that might be a bit of a stretch, but they're like, yeah, look, his tail looks metal when he's coming out of the water. They're saying that they think that Mecha Godzilla plays a role in this movie, so that'll be interesting. Mortal Kombat reboot. I don't know if we talked about this before, but they did a little teaser. They did a little teaser of it, and a trailer will be coming out in the mid-February. There'll be a trailer, and it's going to be on HBO Max and theaters at the same time.
First one was terrible, horrible.
I saw the teaser. It looked pretty good.
Yeah.
No, I said the original.
I
didn't mind it.
For me, I really liked the first one, but the second one, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, was complete trash.
Yeah, I didn't mind the first one either, but you're right. The second one was like, oh, geez.
Yeah.
I had more hope for that one, and it was not good.
But this reboot looks like they put some real money, and they didn't whitewash all the actors, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah. CGI's a lot better now too.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah. I'm so thrilled for this, and I'm so excited to see what they do with modern CGI in this. I'm hoping that it's awesome, but we'll see. Previously reviewed one of Glenn Danzig's horror movies, the Verotic Trilogy, which was a real poo-poo. However, he has begun working on his new film, and in the new film, he will actually play a role of a cowboy vampire. Name of the new role is Death Rider and the House of Vampires.
That sounds intriguing.
Might be. Who knows? Listen, there's been a lot of great B-movie vampire movies. Maybe it'll be better. Maybe he's learned some lessons from his first film that he might be able to make his second film a little better.
Well, yeah, usually when you get laughed off a stage, it's might be a wake-up call, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
AMC/Shudder has renewed Eli Roth's History of Horror for season 3.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
that's a good show.
Yes, this season they'll be covering topics like sinister psychics, infections, mad scientists, apocalyptic horror, sequels that don't suck, and holiday horror films.
Oh, nice. Nice. It's a good lineup.
Yeah. New trailer that I posted up on our Facebook feed for the new Shudder movie, Psycho Gorman. This is a horror comedy that looks fucking hilarious,
Yeah,
and I
it
can't
does.
wait to see it.
What a great concept.
Yes. And
I,
on top of that, my favorite artist, Vance Kelly, has done a special painting that will appear on a special limited edition vinyl of the soundtrack that's available through Waxworks. I'll post a link on our website so that anyone interested in getting the vinyl soundtrack can get it. I already pre-ordered it because I love Vance Kelly's artwork.
Sweet. I like the voice, like the when like little girls talking to him, and he's like, You will bathe in your own blood," like the stuff he's saying to him, and she's like, "Okay, see you later."
Yeah.
It looks like it's gonna be good.
Yeah, it does. It looks kind of like almost like I was thinking it reminded me a little bit of Monster Squad because the little kid had like something that belonged to the monster and like she's able to control it with that thing. So that looks kind of cool.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be good.
Um, Edgar Wright is working a new horror film called Last Night in Soho. I think we might have talked about this before, but now they've given it an October release date for Halloween.
Sweet.
Just a summary of what it's about from the website. It's a young girl who's passionate about fashion design, mysteriously enters the 1960s, where she encounters her idol, a dazzling wannabe singer. But 1960s London is not what it seems, and time seems to fall apart with shady consequences.
Hmm, interesting.
Yes,
Sounds pretty good.
yes. Another casualty of COVID that stretches well into 2020 and perhaps 2022. We have Morbius, starring Jared Leto. Marvel movie has now been pushed into 2022. Sony wants
Uh,
Sony wants to avoid competing with Bond for a summer release. Yeah,
Damn it.
exactly.
That sucks. Stupid COVID.
Yeah.
They want seats in the theaters. That's what.
Yeah, and you know what? The thing is, movie theaters are hurting right now, but you can't just keep pushing movies back, man. These companies got to make money too, and we want to be entertained more than ever right now because we're stuck in our homes.
Yeah. I'm gonna resort to making my own films. Nobody wants that.
Right. Um, just a little side note here: HBO release schedule looks pretty freaking sweet. So far, this is what we know: Godzilla and Kong comes out March 31st. Mortal Kombat comes out April 16th. The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It, comes out this June 4th. And
Nice.
Malignant comes out September 10th.
They've been showing the commercial for that one with Denzel Washington and Jared Leto in it that looks pretty good too.
Comes out
And that
tomorrow. Can't wait to watch it.
that's like a thriller kind of vibe to it I'm getting. So
Yeah,
that looks really good.
yeah.
Is that tomorrow?
That's tomorrow, yeah.
Nice, nice.
Actually have it on my HBO Max list, ready to watch
What's
as
that
soon
one
as it comes
called?
out. I
It's got a
can't even
long
remember
ass
the name.
title. Yeah, it's got a
Yeah.
long ass title. That's why I didn't say it to begin with because it's escaping me right now.
And I didn't put it in here because I didn't really think of it as it's actually like a horror. It's a
It's
horror
like
You're
a
saying that's on
thriller.
mystery.
HBO. That's on HBO Max tomorrow. So
Yep. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's like a thriller.
Denzel Washington, uh, Jared Leto. What's that other guy that's in it too? The guy that played Freddie Mercury in
Yeah, the kid from Mr. Robot.
yeah, I can't
Yeah,
remember his name.
he's got a weird name. I can't
Yeah, I
remember it off
can't
the top of my
remember.
head. Damn old age and drugs.
Exactly. All right, let's I think that's all I have right now. Do you guys got anything?
No, just have you guys been watching that 30 Coins on HBO?
I
I
have
haven't
all.
yet.
I have 5 of them recorded.
Ah, dude, it's awesome.
Yeah,
It's really good.
I watched a little bit of the first one, and I was like, yeah, it's cool. I'll record them and
Yeah, and I don't, you know me, I'm not a big subtitle fan, but
subtitle guy. Yeah,
after like 2 episodes, you don't even really notice it much anymore.
yeah.
It's really good. Good
It's
concept.
Spanish. Yeah, Spanish horror. It's in Spain, actually, right? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Well, it goes from Spain. It starts in Spain, but it bounces around from Spain to Italy and stuff like that because the
yeah,
Pope is involved and stuff.
yeah.
It's really good, and there's some sick scenes in it too, like just out of nowhere.
Yep.
What's it about?
So 30 Coins is the money that was paid to Judas to betray Jesus, and the coins. The Catholic Church has like their treasures, like things that like touched Christ, or the Shroud of Turin or whatever it's called, and
Yeah.
so there's a competing sect of Catholicism which embraces the dark side of God. Like there is no good without evil. So they're like the opposite of the Holy Catholic Church, and they also have their like treasures. And with those treasures, besides them being prestigious, they believe they give them powers. So these coins are like one of the ultimate treasures to get. Um, and so one of them pops up in an exorcism in some goat hill farm
Yeah.
in Spain, and all hell breaks loose from there. The guy
And
who's
there's
like
like kids, yeah, there's like teenagers that sort of get involved with it.
No, it sounds pretty good.
The exorcist is like this big burly like Spanish dude who's like an ex-boxer, and like but he doesn't want anyone to know what he's doing, and the town's experiencing some freaky shit, and he's trying to tell them they're all just hallucinating and stuff. But it's good. And so each episode they're trying to find these like there's like a couple coins left in it all. Like I think the season's almost over, but it's really good.
Wow, sounds good. All right, I have to
Yeah.
check that out. I also wanted to mention that yesterday I was flipping through Amazon, and I watched Uncle Peckerhead, which is on Amazon Prime. But also on Amazon Prime, I noticed they have Gargoyles, a 1972 classic. I don't know if you guys remember that.
I
I
don't
remember
remember that
watching
one.
it on HBO as a kid, and I loved that horror movie.
I think we may have talked about it once in like an early episode, because
Yeah, I think
I
we
think I
did.
remember you talking about that movie before. I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You might want to check it out. Amazon is surprisingly good at having some
They're
really
better than
great.
Netflix.
Yeah,
They're
they have some
better than
really
Netflix.
great
Yeah.
old horror movies. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
I think horror in general, I think Prime does better than Netflix.
Yeah, and
Netflix
they
doesn't
even
have a big selection either. It's like,
I even
No.
see commercials. I even see advertisements now about Amazon Prime horror movies
Oh,
yeah.
really?
popping up every now and then. Yeah.
Huh.
All right, let's move on to our top five. So the top five this month
This was
is
tough.
kind of our wrap up of 2020. What were your favorite
Yeah.
horror movies, TV shows, video games, anything that has to do with horror that happened during 2020? Besides, of course, the pandemic.
Right.
Yeah, there's not a lot of movies in the pool, but
No, yeah, but there's between movies and shows, like I have a lot of honorable mentions because I couldn't narrow it down
oh really?
to
Yeah.
five. Yeah.
Yeah, I did a lot of work at trying to narrow it down, so I kind of got it down pretty low. So this month we're gonna go with I believe that I went first last time, so it's gonna be Craig, Chris, and then myself.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
All right. And this was movies, television, and video game, whatever,
Video
right?
games,
Anything
anything dealing
horror.
with horror, even if it's
Yeah.
horror comic books, that would be fine too. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So my number five, I went with Visage. It's a horror video game. I don't know if
Oh,
it's Visage or Visage.
right. The one you just told us about.
Yeah.
Yep, that came out October 2020, and I don't know how it flew under the radar, but it is insanely good. It's really
Nice.
scary.
What's the premise?
Well, I don't want to spoil anything, but you're walking through a house.
Well, you could just say it's like supernatural or like
Yeah,
slasher
well,
or
yeah, supernatural.
okay.
There's 4 or 5 chapters,
Mm-hmm.
and once you pick an item in the house, you start a chapter, and you get to finish the chapter. And
Oh, cool.
the chapters are sort of, I'll spoil it a little bit, but the chapters are sort of about people that died in the house.
And each item represents that person.
Sort of, yeah, sort of, kind of.
Cool.
Nice.
But it's like I said,
Creepy AF.
Creepy
the
AF.
scariest video game I've ever played.
Sweet.
That's a bold statement coming from me.
Yeah,
And
it's hard to get scared anymore.
it's very difficult, though. I'll warn anybody. It's like some of the puzzles are like, whoa,
Do they
I
have
might
like
hate it
easy
then.
and hard, or is it all just one level? You
No,
can't-
it's all just.
I need
might
easy
hate that.
level.
Yeah,
I
because
need the easy
I
level.
freaking suck, man. I'm an old man when it comes to video games nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that hard. I mean, like I said, you'll figure out when you find the items where they
I'm gonna
need to
give it
go.
a try. How much is it?
Yeah, it was $34. It's pretty cheap.
I'll have to
Digital.
see if they
Yeah,
have
okay.
it on Xbox.
Yeah, check it out.
Cool.
All right. So that was my number 5. Number 4, I went with the La Llorona.
That's
movie.
in my queue. I haven't watched that one yet.
Okay. They did a haunt in Universal horror night. They had a walkthrough.
Oh, really?
Yep.
And it was based
Nice.
off the movie? Or the
Yep.
movie was based off that okay, got you.
Well, yeah, it was a Universal movie actually. So yeah, I think the movie came out first, and then they did the walkthrough.
And that was like a supernatural one, right? Like a
Yep,
evil
like a
spirit
weeping
kind of thing?
mother. Yeah, weeping mother. It was good. It was
Gotcha.
creepy. I think James Wan had his mitts in that one somehow. I don't know if he was producer. I want to say maybe he was a producer in that movie. But I anything he's involved with, I usually like. He
Nice.
he doesn't usually get involved with any stinkers. Number 3, I had a movie called Deerskin.
I don't know that one.
I think that one's in Prime
I didn't
also.
see that one.
I think it's
Huh.
in Prime. I
Okay.
think it's in Prime.
Write that one down.
It's a foreign film, but
What-
it's
What
it's pretty crazy.
what language?
French.
Oh.
Yeah.
Impossible.
Yeah. So it's sort of about this guy that falls in love with this deerskin jacket, and it's a little I know there's some comedy in it too, though. It's
Nice.
Nice.
so that's where it gets, because it's just a weird, like, dude, this guy's like crazy.
I like weird.
But it's got some comedy in it for sure.
Awesome.
So yeah, deerskin. Number 2, Color Out of Space.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we that was a good one.
Yeah, we reviewed that one on the podcast.
Nicolas Cage.
Like I said, I thought what really jumped out was when the mother started mutating, and that was like,
Oh yeah, where the mother and the son like melted together.
yeah,
kinda?
that was like the craziest creature I've seen in a long time. So that's
I felt gross. Well, like I didn't want to look at it. Like it made me. I was repulsed by it.
yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
just wanted it to go
It
away.
looks so real, dude. It looks so real.
I know.
Oh, it was awful. It was
like
awful.
I said, it was just grotesque. So I mean, that put it on the top of my list for sure. And number 1, I went with the Invisible Man.
Nice.
Nice.
And that was like the first like COVID movie that they just decided to pull out of the theater and put on and sell on TV. They were like one of the first ones to do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wanted to watch that movie anyway. Let's have a family movie night. It was nice. It was nice. And it was a great movie.
Film. Fantastic.
It was.
It was.
It remakes. It was a good reimagining of the original concept.
Yeah, it wasn't really an Invisible Man, was it? Sort of was, but it was both, right?
Yeah.
And I put Sabrina down as an honorable mention because
I mean,
there hasn't been a bad season of that, and I started watching. I'm on like 4 of the new season, so.
Oh, you haven't gotten to the end of the new season
I'm a little bit behind on that. Yeah.
All right, I won't say anything then.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything about the end of it either.
This is the final season for that one too, or no?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, they put a cap on the end of it.
Okay. All right. So yeah,
awesome.
That's my honorable mention.
Yeah, I was gonna have that in my honorable mention too, but it didn't quite make it.
Yeah.
There was a lot of I watched a lot of stuff this year, I guess, and so I have quite a few honorable mentions. I was like, we could have made this a top 10, I think.
The Lodge too. I almost put The Lodge on my. I don't know.
I haven't even watched that one yet. Haven't even watched it yet.
It's okay. It's wintry if you're in the mood for.
Or that was another one that Salad mentioned just a couple weeks ago. The one about the old lady. What the hell was that?
Relic.
Oh, yeah, Relic. I haven't watched that yet either.
I saw that one. Yeah.
I like.
Really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of hit home for me because my dad has Alzheimer's, so it's sort of.
Got you. All right, so
that subject. Yep.
I'll start mine. Number 5 was Host, which was the one about the Zoom session. They were doing a seance on a Zoom session. It was like very timely because it was a horror for what we're going through, and it was pretty creepy. I mean, they did a good job on a shoestring budget.
Yeah.
Especially during a pandemic, it was good. And it had a couple jump scares, but it also had like a foreboding feeling throughout the entire movie that kept me interested.
Yeah.
Number 4, Lovecraft Country. I thought that show was phenomenal. I was
Amazing.
besides the stories. I mean, there was history that I learned like watching
Yeah.
that show. Like I
Yeah.
had no idea some of that stuff existed.
And some of that
And
history was terrifying by itself.
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
right.
That was the horror, right?
That was the great thing, how they melded the two together. Like reality was even more horrific than this sci-fi that was going on around it. You know, like it was
Yeah.
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
That was I loved it. It was
Yeah, the
such a great
racists were
show.
scarier than the monsters, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and then it turned out like the one monster, they were kind of racist anyway. Like, so anyways, number 3 for me was The Invisible Man.
Okay.
We just discussed that briefly with Craig, so I'll just pop by it. Number 2, The Outsider on HBO. Another great HBO series.
Yep.
I was a little disappointed with that, but
Were you?
yeah,
Really?
only because Jason Bateman was written off like
I kind of dug that though. Like
I know,
it was
but
Well,
ballsy. It was ballsy.
the thing is, he was the producer, so he's involved the show the whole time. It wasn't like
yeah,
he
I
was
know.
just
It
not.
was
Yeah.
ballsy. It was ballsy to kill him off in the second episode, but the story didn't lack, and the acting was phenomenal. And that like last episode, like just blew my mind. Like I was
Yep.
just like, holy shit!
Yeah.
It was good. Like and that was Stephen King, right? Or was that
Yes.
was
It
it?
was
That
Stephen
was
King. Yeah.
yeah.
That was great. And my number 1, and I I couldn't determine whether I thought it was a thriller or a horror, but there was enough elements of horror in it that I decided to consider it as my number 1, was The Devil All the Time on Netflix.
I love that
Um,
movie.
Oh, that's in my queue.
oh my God,
no spoilers.
the acting was phenomenal, the plot was phenomenal, the cinematography was great, and
I
it
was
was
actually gonna pick that one for my my
it was
movie.
creepy. It was creepy, you know, like even like the people who were like supposed to be normal people were creepy.
Yeah.
It was a great movie. Like I think them like if Netflix are they in the like the Emmys? Is that what they
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that should get? I mean, there was just some great movie
Absolutely.
all around.
Absolutely.
So can I pick that one for my movie? No, since you guys already saw it.
I'd watch
No,
it
you
again.
sure can. Yeah, we could definitely review it. Yeah.
I'd watch it again just to to get my my mind fresh on it. But it was really
Okay.
good. I'll go through my honorable mentions. They were all good too, and this was tough for me to even like. I liked them all, you know, and it was hard, especially I think because they're newer movies, to figure out a way to separate them because none of them have any kind of, emotional connection yet, like some of our older like favorite movies do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll just go through these. Colorado Space, that just didn't make the top 5. Awesome movie. What We Do in the Shadows season 2.
Yeah.
It was great too because it came out just as we had been in like 3
Yeah.
weeks of pandemic and there wasn't shit to like watch. I'm like, oh, new episodes of What We Do in the Shadows,
Yeah.
and it was a great season. There were some iconic moments in it, some great
Jackie
special
Daytona.
guests. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Mark Hamill in it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Haley
need
Joel
more
Osment
Jackie.
as like the zombie like
Yeah.
familiar in the first episode was hilarious. Great season. Uh, the platform. I don't know if either of you guys have seen this yet. I think it's I want to say it's like a Scottish film or something like that. Great concept.
No, I haven't seen it.
This dude wakes up in prison. Well, it's not really a prison.
Oh, is
It's
this like there's like a chain, like everybody's like higher up
so
and
yeah, they're all on different
yeah.
on different platforms. 2 people, and a table full of food starts on like the first floor, and there's like dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of floors. They don't know how many. And as the table comes down, the first floor gets to eat whatever they want to from the table.
Yeah.
They got like 5 or 6 minutes to do it, and then the table goes down to the next layer. And by the time it gets down to like the first 20 layers or so, there ain't shit left.
Yeah.
And so people start eating each other or like going nuts or like it was crazy. It was a great like social commentary because the
Food
all the
chain.
wealth coming from the top and working its way to the bottom, and the people in the bottom
Trickle
are going
down, baby. Trickle down.
going insane. And then one woman decides to fight the system because her kid is somewhere down in one of the lower levels. It was really good.
Nice.
Another one that I happened by and thought it was a great concept.
That was Netflix, right? I think.
Yeah, Netflix, definitely.
Yeah.
Blood Quantum was a good Shudder one. It was like a zombie Native American reservation kind of thing. Also, like a different concept for a movie.
Yeah, that was very different, and I liked it.
Yeah, it was great because of who they were. They didn't get affected by the zombies, and then that one like dude, like the one guy that they let in, just ruined everything.
Yeah, yeah,
Just, that was good. Babysitter Killer Queens. Uh,
yeah.
Again, there was a lot of movies that I was like, I really like enjoyed it. You know, like it was tough to make this list. And my last one, and I just watched this one recently, and I think I watched it because Salad mentioned it, and I thought it looked good. We Summon the Darkness. It's about a bunch of like heavy metal groupies that go to a concert and then go back to
Yeah,
another great
that was
concept.
wild. That was a wild
Yeah,
one.
another great concept. Craig, if you add that one to the list too. So I thought 2020 for me was a great year for like some finding some different stuff. And I think one of the reasons is because of the pandemic, and I had some more time to not watch sports, and I was inside a lot more, you know? So
Plus, all the content that Shudder is producing now, just off the charts.
yeah,
Yeah, I watched the mortuary,
that was another good one.
whatever it's
Did
called.
you like that? Good stories.
Yeah, yeah. The
And
stories got better as the movie went on too.
yeah, and the overall thing, the guy who played the mortuary guy,
Yeah,
that
I recognized him.
yeah, I forget what his name is. He's been in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
All right,
All
that's
right,
that's why I'm done finally. Sorry.
awesome. No, that's great. That's an awesome list. A lot of great stuff came out this year. All right, let me start with my number 5. My number 5 is The Devil All the Time. Now, the reason why I put it at
Nice.
number 5, I wanted it on my list, but it was such a struggle to try and squeeze it in here. And I thought,
Yeah.
well, it's really, is it a horror movie? It kind of is. I mean, it is
There's a serial
horrific.
killer in it,
Yeah. So I'm like, all
and
right,
there's like
I'm,
blood sacrifice, you know,
yep,
like and some other weird shit. Like it, you know,
yeah.
it
Yeah, so I
but
put it on there because I really love that movie. I thought it was great. I think it was like you said, production value was amazing, cinematography was amazing. The acting was absolutely
Robert
phenomenal.
Pattinson was awesome in
Oh
that.
my god, what a dirty, creepy dude in that movie
Oh
he
my god,
played.
he was
Oh my
like
god.
I didn't know him from much other than like Harry Potter and from
Yeah,
the Twilight series. I didn't even watch this, but I knew he was in it. I was like, oh,
yeah,
dude, he's pretty freaking good.
yeah. He played a fucking oh, ugh, ugh.
Yeah,
All right. My number 4 is I'm thinking of ending things.
I thought that looked pretty good. I haven't watched that one yet.
That's on my list too. Yeah.
Let me just say, it fucking broke my brain. That movie broke my
Really?
brain. Yeah.
Carmen wanted to watch that one with me
It
actually.
broke my brain. It
Is
seriously
that
broke my
British?
brain. No, it's an American
Oh, is it?
film. It's made by what's his name, Charlie Kaufman.
Oh, really?
What a staggeringly intense film, and it's confusing at first, but at the end, when you finally realize what the fuck is going on, it's so depressing,
Yeah, it's in my
and
queue.
my brain just broke. I just couldn't take. I couldn't take anything after that.
Wow.
I seriously had to unpack it for a couple hours after the movie ended. I just turned off the TV and sat on my couch for at least an hour, just thinking like, what the fuck did I just witness
Kind of like
there? And
watching Midsummer.
yeah, it was really fucked up. It was
Really?
really, yeah,
Huh?
yeah. It was probably one of the most shocking movies I've seen in a
All
while.
right. Well, I have to bump it up in the queue then.
Yeah. My number 3, Lovecraft Country. Fantastic. I just loved that entire show. The history in it was horrifying. The sci-fi in it was horrifying. The acting was amazing. And the main
Yeah.
character, I can't remember the actor's name, but I'm so excited to see him playing Kang the Conqueror um, in the new what what movie is that? He's going to be in the new Guardians of the Galaxy, is it? I
The
think it's
guy that
Guardians
showed
of the
his
Galaxy.
the guy that showed his wang all the time. Lovecraft Country.
Yeah, the dude with the glass, the main character, the main male. He's gonna play Kang the Conqueror, which is gonna be awesome. But he's fantastic. That whole series was fantastic.
And I think that movie introduced one of my new like things that creep me out is those two little girls, the Mopsy and
Oh my
Flopsy.
god,
Oh
dude!
yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
I every time like I saw them peering around a corner, I like went like ah! They were
yeah,
creepy. Oh my god.
yes, they were. Color Outer Space is my number 2.
Nice.
I really love that movie. I love H.P. Lovecraft. I loved all the stories. The Color Outer Space was fantastic. I'm really hoping. I know it didn't do fantastic in terms of box office, but I'm hoping they do get to make the Dunwich Horror, which was the next film they were going to make. I haven't heard anything about it, but I'm hoping that's the case. Um, and my number one is The Invisible Man, because that reimagining just really was amazing. I loved it.
It
I
was.
loved that movie.
Yeah, and the technology that they used to make the Invisible Man was kind of like wow, like
And it completely kept you on edge. Completely kept you on edge, like because
yeah,
you weren't sure what the fuck was going on. Was it the brother? Was it the brother who's actually doing this shit? What
yeah.
And at the end, it was just fantastic. Loved it. I've got three honorable mentions. My number one honorable mention is Lock and Key, which is on Netflix. That's written by
Oh, yeah, we watched
Steve.
that. That was good.
Yeah,
I haven't watched that
Stephen.
one. I remember you talking about that before and saying how good it was.
Yeah, Stephen King's son, Joe Hill. He wrote a comic book and they turned it into the series. There's a season 2 coming out, which I can't wait to see. The only thing I didn't like about that one and why I didn't put it on my top 5, that movie gave me such that TV show gave me such anxiety. Like there were a couple
Really?
times that I needed to turn it off and walk away because of how anxious I was getting during that show. The other one is Relic is an honorable mention. I thought that was a fantastic movie. I loved that movie. Um, very scary, horrifying, and so
Really?
close to the subject matter was so like holy shit.
Really?
Yeah. And then my other honorable mention is The Outsider on HBO, which I love everything Stephen King, but it's so hard to try and squeeze something, it into the top 5 there.
Yeah. That's a good list. Yeah, I mean, HBO usually puts out some pretty decent stuff. That's why I'm looking forward to shit. Never mind. I was thinking of the movie, not the never mind. Forget that thought.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if they're going to do like another season of Outsider, if they just terminated the story there. Do you think it
Yeah,
goes
I don't
on from
know.
there?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like
And the same thing with Lovecraft Country. I haven't heard whether or not they're going to do another season of that.
Yeah.
they kind of left it open there towards the end for a second
Yeah,
season. It'll be interesting to see because that's based off of a book, right?
yeah.
And I wonder how much it takes directly from the book, like, or if it's just inspired by the book. Like,
I don't know, and that's the thing is I never read the book, and I don't know anyone that has because I was asking around to see if anyone actually read the book. Does it go on from there? Is there going to be more? But no one seems to know because I don't know anyone that actually read the book.
well, there we are then.
All right,
Hey, wait, real
that was
quick.
excellent. Yeah,
Craig had mentioned Sabrina. Did you feel that like took a lot from Lovecraft that last
yeah,
season?
absolutely,
Like I
absolutely.
was sitting there watching, like, holy shit, like this is like Lovecraft, like all the stuff they're talking
Yeah.
about,
Well,
Yeah, like the octopus squid creature, like that's sort of Lovecraft,
and
right?
the terrors, like all the
yeah.
different
Yeah.
like
It was basically all it was basically the Dunwich Horrors flipped around into the whatever the name of the town was horrors, right? That's pretty much what it
yeah,
was. And the thing about it too is like I love it was a great show. Like season 1, awesome. Season 2, awesome. Season 3, all right, now
mm,
they're fucking singing. Come on, man. What the fuck is
yeah,
to me that was Fonzie jumping the shark in the pool. All right? That
Yeah.
was like it was bullshit. And then the fourth season, there was more singing and then they pivoted from Satan to this horror and then I'm like, what the fuck? And then the ending, I don't even want to talk about the ending.
yeah. Like Craig hasn't watched it yet, so
Yeah, yeah, we'll talk about it once Craig's finished it up. I want to hear what Craig has to say about the ending. All right, awesome. That was a great top 5 list. I
yeah,
really
they
like that
were
one.
like all I got to add some stuff that I hadn't heard of, so that works out good too.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about this month's movie. I picked this month's movie. It's a 2015 comedy horror based on vampires called Bloodsucking Bastards. Um, this movie, it got a 67% by critics on Rotten Tomatoes. It got a 48% by audience.
Just too low.
Yeah, I think that's too low too. I really enjoyed the movie. The movie was, it was it was let's see,
It was good.
2015. It
It was
came,
entertaining.
I
yeah, it
liked
came
it.
out.
It was
It
well
came out
rounded.
came out September 4th, 2015, a limited theater release, and then went to streaming in October 25th, 2016. It's about an hour and a half long, and it stars a
Which was a
guy
good
named
length
Evan.
for it.
Yep, it's the main character is a guy named Evan, and the boss is Max. He's the one person that I knew from in here was Pedro Pascal. He was
Yeah,
pretty
The
awesome
yeah.
in his
Mandalorian.
role. And then you have Joel Murray played the boss in The Office there too, which he's a pretty famous guy. And Joey Kern was like the comedic sidekick. He was from what was that? It was that there was a movie that he was in. It was
Oh,
like
it was that hippie. It was
yeah. It was like the Animal House of the '70s type thing. It was like a what the hell was it called?
uh,
I'm trying to think. Well, he was in Cabin Fever,
Dazed
right?
and Confused. Was it
Yeah, that's
Dazed and
it.
Confused?
Yeah, that's it.
No, it wasn't Dazed and Confused, but he was in
Oh no.
Cabin
Which one
Fever,
was
and he was
McConaughey? It was it wasn't the one McConaughey. It was McConaughey and Matthew McConaughey. He was in Dazed and Confused, right? Or no?
Yeah.
All right, so it wasn't that one. It was called.
man, I can't find it. I'm trying to find it here. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe he wasn't in one of those other movies. Because I'm looking here and I don't see him in there.
Hmm. There
Huh.
was the 30-second cameo by Matthew Lillard.
Yep. Yep.
I was like, hey, that's Matthew
Oh,
Lillard, and then he was gone. I was like, oh, well, that's wonder how much they paid him for that, like 30
Yeah.
seconds.
Yeah. Exactly. What the hell is that movie that he was in?
I don't know. I'm drawing a blank.
Let's see. He was in Grind. He was in Big Ups, The Sasquatch Gang. Uh, he was in a lot of fucked up movies. The Beginner's Guide to Snuff. I don't know. He was in a lot of weird comedies, but yeah. All right. So, Super Troopers. He was also in Super Troopers. Yeah. All right.
all right. Maybe that's where I recognize him
Yeah.
from.
So he's had a bunch of roles in a bunch of different things. So that's kind of cool. And I thought he was pretty funny. He was a pretty
Yeah,
funny comic relief kind of guy.
yeah.
Yep.
You know, that movie to me kind of had like a Workaholics vibe, but not quite as zany as
Oh,
Workaholics.
it's like The Office and Workaholics and
Yeah,
But
but with
the
whatever
vampires.
vampire
yeah,
movie you
yeah,
want
the
to roll
nice
into,
touch
right?
was the vampire thing, and it was pretty great the way they slowly kind of
Yeah,
revealed
took over
it.
the office.
Yeah, and it was just Evan. Like Evan was the only one seeing everything, and everyone's like, "What is wrong with you?" Like what? And then it turns out, oh yeah, it's this Pedro Pascal plays someone that was like his enemy in college, and he got the guy kicked out of college, and then he wound up having to go to school in Romania where he learned business management and vampires. And
Yeah,
he became a vampire, and he wanted to start a new trend for business management to turn all workers into mindless slave vampires. It
yeah.
was just
It had a nice,
it,
subtle, like socioeconomic message to it.
and the level of gore just kept getting higher and
Yep.
higher. Like the amount of blood is like every scene was more and more and more blood.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I'm like, you usually you feel out the blood level at some point, and then I think they just like when let's buckets,
Yeah,
like let's start
Oh yeah,
throwing
the
buckets.
first one
Like,
was like, it was like,
he just explodes and blood
it's
everywhere.
just,
And
yeah,
then the second time he goes, "Does that happen every time?" He goes, "Yeah, pretty much it
yeah,
does."
yeah. That was great. Yeah, it was.
And
I
then
liked it.
yeah, the storytelling was great. Like the characters really were like the guys all played great characters. It was great
Yeah, they were all
acting for like
likable.
yeah, for like a mundane office environment, generic office environment. And then when he starts linking all the things and you start thinking about like, fuck man, that's like my office. There's no windows. He's like, you mean there's no sun at all in the office? He's no, not a single window.
Yeah,
It's like,
and it's
oh,
true. It's true.
yeah, it just when I first watched this, I'm trying to think. I think I watched it when it streamed like in 2015 when it was brand new. And I first
Mhm.
watched it, I'm like, oh my God, this is like a sleeper. I never even heard of this thing. And it's hilarious. Not only is it hilarious, it's like the gore level was over the fucking top. I love vampire movies, so that made it even that much better. And some of the scenes were just like phenomenal. The goofy sidekick guy was funny, especially when they start talking about like once Evan, the
Yeah,
main character
like he
Evan
knew it.
reveals, yeah, he reveals, like, oh, all these guys are vampires. He's like, oh, well, that kind of makes sense because
Yeah,
he's like, I witnessed what's her name down in the basement, and they show him like
yeah, and then
eating a sandwich or whatever,
yeah, he's
and
telling
then
all the stories that he told earlier, but like
yeah,
the parts he left out were
The security guard. Yeah, the
yeah,
security guard's like
yeah.
next to him all the
Well,
time.
that
that's
was
the thing is,
awesome.
after he tells the story, then they meet up with the security guard and he goes, "Yeah, I kind of witnessed that same too. I figured it was vampires." And it's like, "Well, wait a minute, were you with him?" He's like, "Yeah." And then they cut back to all the scenes and all the
Yeah,
stories that he told, the security guard was sitting right next to him.
yeah, that
Yeah.
was funny. That was great. I liked that. You know,
And
it
the
was all
security,
real, just subtle humor,
yeah,
but it was funny.
yeah. And then like the security guard, every scene they show him drinking Red Bull, and like the my favorite line in the whole
Oh
thing
yeah,
is. Because if
yeah,
a vampire bites you, you're gonna be awake for days.
yeah, that was funny.
The HR girl looked familiar too. She looked.
Yeah, I thought so too. I
She was
couldn't
the
put.
love interest for.
She was cute.
She
Yeah.
was, she
She
was.
was cute. Yeah, but that movie, yeah, that was fucking good. And then
I liked
what's
it.
his the 30-second cameo was that was the funny part too. So like it's a lot like what was the movie the TV show again that you guys mentioned that was on Comedy Central?
Workaholics.
Workaholics are like selling, phone over the
Yeah.
phone crap.
Yeah,
And they were talking about the erection drug.
yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it
Yeah.
works, but it turns your junk a little green. But I try to convince people I'm the Hulk, not in size, but in color. And then
uh,
and then that's when they have a sales meeting with this company, and that's when you get the cameo. The salespeople come in and they're like all covered in blood. He's like, yeah, the meeting's canceled.
and that was it. That's all. That's all you saw of
Yeah,
him.
and then they all left.
I was like, what the? Yeah, it was
And then
good. I like.
when you finally find out that Pedro Pascal is the bad guy, and this was his plan all along, and he's like, yeah, look, my plan was I'm gonna take care of all these workers. They're all gonna become very good workers. I'm gonna be the best manager. And he's like,
And they
oh yeah,
were.
by the way, he was gonna kill you. He goes, no, he's gonna change me into a vampire last, with a little candlelight and some dinner. And then he shakes his head. He says, no. He's like, what? And then he just
Yeah.
grabs him and snaps his head right there. It just the whole movie was really great. I think it wasn't any like masterpiece film, right?
No, no, it
And it,
wasn't
it
awesome, but it didn't suck. Like it was good. It
it
was a
was
good
it
movie.
was like to me I saw it as kind of a nice mashup or a nice blending of a good office comedy with a horror movie
Yeah.
of vampires, and it just the way they wrote it out and the way that it act, especially once there was a couple scenes that were just like off the rails, kind of funny. The two buddies that were like the comedy relief guys, one of them was a vampire at the end, the other one wasn't, and they were doing this candy bar toss, talking about, well, I don't want to be a vampire. Well, I have to turn you into one. I have to kill you. And he's like, well, can I just, they're trying to negotiate. Can you not kill me and not make me a vampire?
Yeah. Yeah, it was real nice, like subtle humor. It was like,
Yeah,
I liked it. I thought it was good.
yeah, it was very good. And yeah, I think it's one of those movies that if someone's looking for a little light comedy with a little bit of gore,
Yeah,
it's a
it's
good
not a
movie.
scary movie, but
No,
there's tons of gore.
yeah, in no way is it scary, but it's very gory. There may have been one or two moments that were kind of a bit of a jump scare, like when Evan was first trying to escape the vampires, or the gore scene when he finds the first victim in the bathroom stall all ripped
Oh
apart.
yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but other than that, it was really just kind of a comedy with a lot of gore in it and little vampire humor. I enjoyed it. I think most of our listeners would probably enjoy it too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Um,
so.
And I think if I had to give it, out of 5 stars, personally, I'd give it 4 stars. Definitely worth watching.
Yeah, I was gonna say 3.5.
That's what I was
Yeah.
gonna go with too.
All right. We'll go with
Three
three
and
and
a
a
half.
half as an overall 3.5. Sounds good. Yeah, definitely worth watching. I don't know what's with reviewers on Rotten Tomatoes. They give it some crappy scores, but
I think
you
people
know,
just like to talk down on stuff these days. I think people are just angry and just like to tear up anything anymore.
yeah, yeah,
Like if there's something that you like, there's gonna be someone that tells you how much it sucks. That's
yeah,
just
yeah,
where we're at. That's just where we're at as a society right now.
yeah. I think you're right. I think you're right. I think you're right.
You like that movie? That movie fucking sucked, and you suck for liking it.
Yeah. 448 people reviewed it and gave it 48% as an average there. And I'm reading some of the views. Some people are saying it's a great Friday night rental with some friends, six-pack of beer,
Yeah, for
relax.
sure.
Yeah. Although I got to tell you, I think we're a little too nice sometimes because some of those really shitty movies we watch, I look
we
back and
gave
I'm like,
way too good.
well, if we didn't give those ones, what's our where's our floor? Like,
Yeah, exactly. Uh, Bloodsucking Bastards is not a bad movie. It's not the best comedy horror either, but it's very enjoyable.
yeah. I mean, like I said, it didn't suck. It wasn't phenomenal, but it was a good movie. Like I wasn't checking my watch to see if it was like over soon. I liked it.
Yep,
Yeah,
I did too.
awesome.
So Craig, you pick next time, I think, right?
Yep.
And we got to think of a list.
Yeah, we'll give you some time to do that. So let's go ahead and wrap up the show. We'll say thanks to everyone for listening to the podcast. We really appreciate it. I've been looking at some of the numbers lately, and I can't believe I don't know what's happening, but there's some sort of revival going on with the babysitter because
Really?
when I look at the dashboard on our site here, and I'm looking at the number of listeners. Previously, I think I mentioned that overall, through the whole lifetime of the shows, one of the top shows was always All the Devils Are Here.
Yeah.
That one seems, for whatever reason, some people must be searching for that one on the internet, and that's the one that people are finding the most. 228 listens total. Suddenly, this month only, as of this month, The Babysitter's number one.
Really? The original?
Yeah, we recorded that
Yeah.
show April 13th, 2018. 233 listens.
Well,
14 of which were just in December and 12 in January.
you
Really?
think that had
Yeah.
anything to do with the sequel coming out, or?
I don't know, because when I look at the Killer Queen, that is only 35 listens.
Well, okay.
So I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's weird. I wonder what caused it to jump like that.
Don't
Well, I
know,
think
but
that what's her name chick, the red-haired girl, she just came out with a movie like over the past week or two. I think a horror of some sort. I forget what the hell it's called, but I think I just saw her like there's a movie that she's in. Maybe because of that, people were like looking to see what else she was in, and
oh, that's possible.
it's the only thing I can think of. I can't remember what her name is. The one that you got mad at because she ruined Fans Only.
Oh, that Bella Thorne.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Ah,
she's
that
in a movie,
fucking
like a new
bitch.
movie, like a new horror, but it's
Yeah,
like
fuck her.
well, obviously it's straight to like video or whatever because that's
Good.
what anything.
I hope her career is shit.
She was good in The Babysitter though.
Yeah. All right, everyone. So thank you for listening. If you have any suggestions for future podcasts, like if you have
Top 5
suggested
would be
top
good.
fives, suggested top
Please,
fives,
please.
movies, anything of that nature, please send us an email or any general feedback. You can email us at feedback@the-american-nightmare.com, or you can visit our website, the-american-nightmare.com, or you can see us on Facebook. There's also links on our website to download or listen to any of these podcasts that also provide feedback. We also have links to all of the services that we're streaming on, including Apple, Google, Stitcher, you name it. We're pretty much out there everywhere. I think I've added us to
Spotify?
just about everything. Yep, we're on Spotify. You name it, you can find us. Give us a listen. And thanks again.